I would like to call to order the Dayton Library Building Committee. It is Thursday, August 7th. It is 3:01. It's a hybrid meeting at Old Town Hall. The listing of matters are those that are reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. And because it's a hybrid meeting, although all members are here, I assume I still have to do a roll call of the members?
No,
No,
you have to do it if somebody's on
Zoom. Yeah.
Zoom, yeah.
So the meeting is open. Do you want to open up am I forgetting something?
Oh, did you do a roll call?
We don't have.
We don't have to do.
Oh,
Where have you
that
been?
was
We
your-
just went.
all
through
members.
No,
that.
I thought that was roll call votes, but as long as we're all here and everybody knows,
Well,
I just don't know.
Jim's not here, right?
Yeah, but he's not on Zoom, and he's not going to be on Zoom, so. Ralph,
On that trustees meeting, we didn't have to. By the way.
If there's nobody,
Oh, no, I'm sorry, guys.
well, your last,
Things to get.
yeah, your last,
Fine, I call to order the meeting of the Dayton Library Board of Trustees, a joint meeting with the Library Building Committee. It's a Zoom meeting, and everything that Ken said about the listing of matters holds true to the trustees meeting.
okay, could we all stand for the pledge of allegiance? Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, agenda item number 4, updates regarding project work stream. Infrastructure, I believe, Ralph, you have.
Yeah, I have a note from Jim. Project timeline and budget are on track. Most lighting, glazing, electrical, and interior work will be completed by September 1st, allowing us to have a few weeks before our anticipated opening. After the storefront glazing, doors, and most lighting fixtures are installed and/or delivered, which should occur by the end of the third week of August, Jim plans to release an actual turnover date to the library director for shelf stocking. At that same time, Jim will feel comfortable in setting an actual date for a late September grand opening. Signed, Jim. I don't know if you want it for the record.
How late?
That was my question.
Yeah.
Just late, okay.
He just says late September.
You don't have the answer for that?
No, it wasn't in it.
Does anybody have any questions regarding,
Yeah, we might need to know what it means by late September. That's what we need.
well, I would assume that means like the 26th to 27th, the end of September. That's what late September is.
I think we
Versus
could,
early September, which is like September 1st, September 2nd.
we could follow up with Jim and. I'm
Sure,
sure
I'm
he-
gonna see him next week at some point.
He'll be back next
There
week.
is a problem with the 27th.
27th forward.
Is there something else on the 27th or?
The Historical Society, but if you have
that's
all
right.
of the grand opening stuff, the ceremony stuff done,
No, 27th doesn't work for me, so no.
oh, never mind.
Okay, I'll just stop talking right there, Britt.
So if
The only-
possible, if we could have it the weekend before, when you talk to Jim.
Yeah, yeah, I'll talk, yeah. I'm gonna talk to him at some point next week.
Yeah, it all
Yeah.
depends on how many books Britt can get in there in time.
Well, the books will be there. It's me that won't.
Yeah, no, I understand it, and quite frankly, I want Britt to be there.
I mean, I would love to be there, but if it has to be the 27th, then it has to be the 27th. That's just.
But
the way it
I
is.
thought the issue with the 27th was the Friends wouldn't be able to be helpful because they're preparing for the tournament. So I missed that. 'cause I
Yeah, there was
thought
something
that-
with
that
friends
was-
and the.
that was-
fall
that was my
tournament
understanding.
following,
Yeah, so it would be a burden on the Friends.
Right.
To do the 27th, and notwithstanding the Historical Society events also, with Queen Elizabeth.
Yes.
Right, so,
Which is why-
The 27th.
27th, so
I gotta write
27th
that
would be
down.
problematic.
Yes,
Plus, it's gonna rain that day, so.
Just so that we know,
Oh, geez,
if we go to the following weekend, the weekend of October 4th.
that's the golf tournament itself.
So that's out anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, because and then after, I'm not available from that point forward for the rest of the month. So,
Well, when we're in October, we've been saying September, so
I know.
yeah.
yeah,
Ralph, my question, I know I talked a little bit about this with Mark yesterday, but my concern from my perspective is with the glass company and the electrification of the doors, the width, in both inside and out and so forth. And whether or not we're gonna have this done timely, or we're gonna have a slight delay, and if we have a delay, can we get a drop dead date for when these things are gonna be done? I don't mind if the library opens and these things have to be ordered, or the parts have to be ordered or something. But I do wanna know that it's gonna be done, because we've put a lot of stock in touting how this is gonna be completely accessible for all of our residents, quote unquote. And to not have the electrification in and not working, if we can have it on opening and a few other things that still have to be done, including a couple things, maybe some sanding on the ramp and stuff, that's okay. But we do need a drop dead date to have that. So it's not like a December, maybe January.
Okay, I'll pass that along.
So
Well, I think the trustees, we want to discuss that because I'm not comfortable with opening without those things in place, really. You know,
I
we've
don't
worked
think
this-
it would be allowed.
Yeah, I don't want to just say,
Yeah.
well, yeah, sorry, we could get it done in time. It's like,
Yeah. And it technically should not be allowed and should
No.
not be certified.
we shouldn't have to get a waiver. I think we
No.
just need to get it
It's too
done.
late to get a state waiver at something like this at last minute.
Yeah, so it's,
Well, my concern regarding that is that the new police station opened up without the doors being electrified. And they had to, I think, it might have been Jonathan, but I think you brought it to someone's attention that
Yes.
they need electrified doors, and you actually helped in facilitating that. But my point is that it did open without the doors being electrified. And how did that happen then? I know,
It technically should not have.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
but you need a way of people getting into the building. So that means, you know, you
Sure.
have a doorbell, or do you have a staff person who's watching for that? You know, you can't have somebody come to the door and say, I can't get in because I can't open the door. It's just, I know we've dealt with that, obviously, where we are, but we're opening a new building that should have that. It's one of the things we promised. So,
So what is why is it a problem? Is it not been addressed or?
It was my understanding that that was part of the.
I think it's part of the
contract with
work
Somerset-
order.
Part of the work
Yeah.
order, the contract with Somerset Glass. It's been budgeted. Great money's been earmarked and set aside for it. It just hasn't happened yet, because Somerset Glass hasn't delivered the glazing or the doors.
Okay.
I mean, that's my understanding. Jim may have something, but that's my understanding of the situation.
So the understanding is that the glazing and the doors comes with the opening part of it.
Correct, yeah, that's my understanding, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
what,
we don't have the electrification because we don't have the doors.
And without it, you can't open. That's-
right, but if you don't have a door, then you can't electrify it.
Yeah.
Let's go, Somerset Glass.
I mean, that seems to be I mean, he's not, I don't know what words, but that seems to be the sense I got in talking with him last week.
I guess my question was, and I'll go back, I don't want to belabor this point more than it has to, but were the doors in the police station? I mean, if you're using that as your example, Jonathan, did they just not come electrified
No.
and then they came in after, or they were
So
supposed to be electrified? and-
When the police station was built,
Yeah.
one of the requirements was for the front doors to not only be electrified, but be fully accessible, which means electrified, and you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
It was approved and the occupancy permit was granted without any electrification even being thought of or planned for the door.
okay,
So when I stepped in,
all right,
it was a whole, it changed right away, and it had to, or I would have had to say it had to be decertified.
okay. So this is a slightly different
This is different,
scenario.
yeah.
But
Yes.
your concern is noted. Well, we'll bring it up to Jim when he comes back on Monday, just to make sure.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I just want to be clear.
No,
no, it's
Something that
important,
has to
it's important.
to coin a phrase, accessibility delayed is accessibility denied.
Correct.
Yeah. Any other questions about Jim's letter or infrastructure? The budget, how are we doing with the budget?
We're on track, and Jim also, in the letter that Ralph read, said we're on track, and he has a better understanding of what bill, at this point, what bills are coming in.
Yeah.
He says projection's good. I trust that.
Yeah.
But we are in the black, as far as I know, because I'm comfortable saying that.
Anybody have any questions about that?
What about the outside stuff? You know, we had the,
Landscaping?
yeah,
I don't have any report on that. Jim may have, as far as the only,
gonna get rid of that thing, right?
which there are a few.
Is it already gone?
Which thing?
The
Barbecue?
barbecue?
Oh, and that's still there. That's still there. But the plan, the plan is to get rid of that, yeah. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but that is the plan.
Could we add that, Ralph, to the things that you want to hear list to talk to Jim about?
Landscaping,
Landscaping and removal of.
that thing,
The thing.
The thing.
The thing,
Thing.
the cat,
The cat box?
the cat box.
Just ask him about the thing, but, oh, yeah, okay.
The litter box.
I'll call it the fire pit. How about that?
Well, you do you. You do you.
If you want to be technical about it.
Grants and fundraising,
I have nothing to report on that.
and I have nothing to report other than what we mentioned at the last meeting about fundraising.
Mhm.
That is something we will consider after the opening.
Well,
Community,
just a quick question about the ALA accessibility grants. Is there a report due, or is there a new cycle that we're gonna try to get into?
So I was going to mention the AL,
Okay,
the
thank
ALA
you.
grant. So as far as the disability grant goes, we have until December. They had given us an extension until December of this year. And if we needed it, they were going to give us an additional extension. So there is no report due at this point. What we will be submitting to them when we submit the closeout will probably be, just to be safe, in November. And it'll be the second forum that we held and the report of that, along with the final closeout and the information regarding the expenses and how everything was broken down for accounting purposes. So once we submit that, by the way, we will then be eligible to apply for other grants as well.
And there are still some expenses we need to expense towards that grant. There's the door electrification, and then there's some software pieces
So for the
to expense that.
the door pieces, we don't know the cost factor yet because we haven't heard from Jim and from the glass company what the final costs are going to be for the exterior doors and the interior doors for the restrooms as well that have to be done. So
They have to be electrified as well.
yes, so there's more than, or at least have a lever handle, which I think they may have, but they should be electrified if possible. And we discussed that, so I'm hoping that that will be done. Having said that, I sent Mark the quote for part of our software, which is 3/4 of what the software cost will be. And I'll just say it so that everyone's aware, because I think there's two different options that we should think about. So for this, there's something called Fusion. Fusion is a software program that not only allows people who are totally blind like myself to use it in speech, but people who have poor or low vision, which could also be people who are quote legally blind, could be seniors who are visually impaired, anybody who has other visual impairment issues or issues with types of lighting on a screen. There's a product called Fusion, which is it's a all for one. It's 1 in 3, if you will, which is the least expensive way to go. The cost of the product is, there are a couple options, and I sent this to Mark. I don't know if Mark has copies of it or not at this point.
I didn't. I didn't have them.
But we can do a 3-year lease for the product, and that includes, 24/7 support if Mark and his team need it, or if somebody from the sales team needs it, if one of the technical people needs it from his system or something like that. That one per year is $1,300 per year. And that's for 2 licenses also, which covers both of the laptops that we talked about. And then after that, it's done. You get nothing else. You have to relicense every year at $1,300 a year or more at that point, I think. The other option is to purchase the license. If we purchase the licensing for the 3 years, or excuse me, the 2-year purchase on the license is about $3,000. They give us the same support that we get for 24/7 customer service, and they're very good at that, by the way, through Respiro or Freedom Scientific. And then we can purchase on a 2-year contract, 2 years like that, extensions for 24/7 service. Once we purchase the license, then after 2 years, if we don't continue the contract, we just won't get the updates. And their updates occur several times a year for everything technology for speech and low vision. So my recommendation would be that we go with the purchase of the license, which is a permanent license that we hold, but that we add to the bill while we have the money now, an additional 2 or even 4 years, and that would depend a little bit on what we find out the cost be for the doors. But that way it takes us at least 4 or potentially 6 years out in terms of having full coverage for this software for the computers. And then I expect once the technology is installed, the timeline that we were looking at would be effective September 1. And the reason for that is so that Mark can have his people come in and do the installs into the laptops. And then I can make sure that they're working the way they should be and that everything is correct, and work with his folks if we need to go back and forth, because a lot of times you have to set things on the computer to make it do certain things. And then also it would involve some training for Mark and his staff for somebody if they came in and needed to use these 2 things on the laptop, which will be a part of the desktop, on how to turn JAWS on, how to make sure it's working right, how to make sure the low vision screens are working correctly, so that if somebody needs to, and then make sure that they're shut down when that person is done. And then also put a block in there so that by mistake, nobody can delete the programs. So this would give us a chance to do all that and test it by the time the library opens. So from day one, if somebody said, by the way, I'm visually impaired, or do you have something with a larger screen? Then they can give them the laptop and say, oh yeah, let me turn it on for you.
Now, would George be in charge of that?
Yep, that's why I'm.
Perfect.
So if you want Mark and I to make the decision on which one of these packages to get, I think we can do that, and you've sort of heard what I think. I just need to make sure that, and I would probably have to discuss this with Ralph and perhaps our accountant as well, if we were to, and they will take purchase orders, by the way. But if we were to purchase the technical support package for an extra 2 or 4 or even 6 years, as I said, for every 2 years, it's $674. That's right now. If we wait, I'm sure it's going to go up. So I'd rather purchase it now if we're able. But to me, that would be the way to go. I just need to make sure if we're not paying for the additional years now, unless they allow us to, and we have to set it aside, if we can do that from this grant. Because it would be money not spent yet, but characterized as accounted for. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or thoughts. Again, my thought is that we should purchase the license, because no matter what happens, even if we didn't go and get the technical support later, we have the license. The only difference is it won't upgrade. So in the future, we could purchase upgrade packages if we had to.
2 questions. Who's George? You mentioned George.
He's the sales PC
Okay,
support person.
that was my guess, but.
And I pay for PC support through sales, and
Yeah.
that he's, yeah.
And so,
The difference with this is PC Port, just let me say, is that PC Port is through sales system through the library network. That doesn't necessarily mean that George knows how to troubleshoot this.
got it.
And because it's specific software. And George can talk to them and always do it, but at least George will have a place to go to.
So is this long-term purchase, is it an allowable expense under the grant, and then it extends beyond the end date of the
Yes.
grant award? It's
Yes.
okay, good, thank you.
Yes, it's, and when we put in for the grant, we indicated to purchase software programs. And that was built into the grant
Sure. So if you buy it and it has a. it's
by
like-
default.
Yeah. Once you bought it, you bought it. Okay.
So looking for some feedback, whether you want Mark and I to figure out which is the best way to go.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, but I really think it's the library trustees ought to have more input on this
Mhm.
and the rest of the building committee, maybe Britt.
And my inclination is to defer to the library director and staff and Jonathan.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Okay, because we can take care of it right away.
thank you.
We have to get the application in and get the service order, get the contract in and get the PO going.
As long as it's within the limits of the grant, and then in the out years, we'll have to look at how we fund it, but it's a necessary expense, so.
It is. The only thing I want to say about this is we're looking potentially, if we can take this out. What the unknown is, we don't know, because it hasn't been done yet, what the final cost is for the doors.
Mhm.
We'll know on the other program that I want to purchase, that's probably going to be under $1,000, but we don't know that. So we could end up with an over the $20,000, like it could come to 21, 22, 2150, 21.5, 22.5. In which case, the question I would have is deferring to Mark perhaps is, do we have funds from another source?
I have contingencies I haven't used yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure of because we don't know the door cost until it's done.
And
Okay,
we can play.
we're good.
But then
Mark is
after we
good at moving
can
money around.
Yeah,
apply for other grants, right?
That's right, yeah.
absolutely, yes.
We need to close this one out before we can apply for another.
And then
one.
if we apply for other grants, they can help us down the
Oh,
line.
and they're already sending me emails. Good. Saying, waiting for you to apply, and I've always responded, we can't apply. So, yes,
But do they know? I'm joking.
I know. He has friends in high places, we'll get it.
But his jokes are bad.
Those jokes really are terrible. I really do need to stop.
Anybody have any questions? Jonathan or anything? Community updates and information.
Well, last week was a pretty big week, I think, for the interior of the building. The highway department crew was there pretty much every day, because it was like 100 degrees every day. So they were doing inside work and we brought all the shelves in, we put a good chunk of the shelves together, especially along the wall, even some in the interior of the room. And we did a Facebook post pretty much every day showing something that was going on. So we're getting the word out as best we can. I'm doing a little grand opening preview on the 28th, which as the trustees just voted about a half an hour ago will be the last day the library is open till we close for moving. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna get the word out.
Good.
Are shelves actually being mounted on the outside walls already too?
Shelves, the shelving units were secured to the outside walls. They just need to put the shelves on them, but I can do that anytime.
Around the outside of
The perimeter.
the big room?
Oh, no, not the big, I'm talking children's, we did teen room, we did teen room and children's, but not the bigger, no,
Yeah, that's what I would just,
not the bigger.
Yeah, but aren't the shelves up where the ramp is on the wall? Those shelves?
Those shelves are up,
Yes.
on the opposite side of the ramp, correct?
Yeah.
Correct, yes, those are up and mounted,
Looks
but
good.
not all the shelves are up, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you gonna need, this probably goes along with that a little bit, but are you going to need, or would you like the help of volunteers or committee members to like pick an afternoon and people shuffle boxes up or plastic crates to at least get in there so you can get it all?
No, I don't think at that point, I don't think at that point, I don't think I'm at that point yet where
Okay.
I can say that would be,
Okay,
I'm not saying it wouldn't be helpful. I'm at the point where can say right now that it would be helpful.
but at some
Yeah.
point, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think we need to see how the move goes.
You
Yeah.
can just do it all yourself. then.
Well, not, I have some people that are gonna help.
Okay,
the issue is they have to be put on the shelves very
In an order.
specifically.
Right.
And that's really the
library
thing
is-
that needs to be done.
okay.
But is right. So
So
for
you don't have to
example,
go redo it.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's say, for example.
much more hard to redo it than it is.
Nonfiction, whatever, you have to start in a particular box and go in that particular, so you can't say, okay,
Just,
all right, Mark, you grab that box and start there, but I'm gonna get this, it might not line up that way. You gotta do the whole run, so.
That's why they're not letting the chair of the trustees anywhere near the bookshelf.
or me, come on, really.
Maybe the two of us
I-
working together could figure it out, Jonathan. What do you think?
Well, you put them on the wrong shelves and I put them upside down, so what is this?
But
Inside out.
Yes.
But to answer your question another way, Jonathan, there are people who have reached out and said, I'd love to help, and I've taken down their names, just if we get to the point where help would be needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, there are also liability concerns that we need to explore, whether having non-employees.
So
not-
speaking of that, that's important, Ron, because for the purposes of ADA, unless you are, and I know, I don't know if the end is to put storage down in the lower level in the basement by going through the outside bulkhead or not?
Nope.
Okay. I'm just gonna say then, still, if that were to occur, if anything goes down there whatsoever, because of the ADA requirements and liability related to ADA, the only people that can go downstairs are employees of the library or a town employee. No volunteer even just for 5 minutes, can go down to that bulkhead and go downstairs. Or if anything happens, we are you know what.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's,
Yeah, I think
that is clear.
Yeah.
That nothing's happening in the basement.
Yeah.
That we know of.
Maybe a few bears or something.
Rocky
Bears.
Being recorded.
I'm sure if you need help,
Being
with the committee,
recorded.
we're all willing to volunteer to.
It's
Whatever
those cats from the same.
you want us to do.
Yep, yep.
But we can't go in the basement.
Keeping the mice. out of
We'll
the-
actually do that.
Hmm. What's that?
Ralph could go in the basement. though,
That's right. There you go.
Ralph could go.
I can go in the basement.
There we go.
I will go if need.
Okay, thank you.
Scare away the spiders.
Bears.
Let's scare them upstairs.
There.
Any other questions about community updates and information? Just want to say, I've looked forward to your daily Facebook
Oh, good,
postings.
yeah.
and
There was
gives
a
us
lot,
an
there was a
update.
lot to
Yes,
post. Yeah.
yes, sir.
But there's still plenty of people that see me out in the community be like, hey, when that library opening?
Well, that's
And
the
I'm like,
question. We don't have a. deep-
First of all, I know that you don't know this, but I'm retired, so I don't know.
But you're on the building committee, so you,
No, I just say very nicely, even when it's people I can't stand. Very polite, even though I'm not really representing. But yeah, so I
Well,
tell,
that is the question. When does it open? You know, it's like,
well, I say,
I have people who don't even,
well, it's taken forever.
well, kind of here. It has.
I have people who don't even live in town and keep asking, we want to see it. Like, yeah, it's coming. It's
Do
coming.
we have a date yet? And this is probably a very loaded question because we don't know the answer when we're definitely moving in. How long is the lease on the trailer? And when does it expire?
Yeah, what are we gonna do with that?
Where can we break the lease?
Well, I know the insurance, it's till September, but we could do it month to month, and we've extended our insurance on the property month to month. So we could have it, it's month to month after September,
Okay.
Good.
Got any big plans for it?
to get rid of it as soon as possible.
It's
right?
not gonna be
Much like
next to- you could have a domain in there.
That's it,
You could be the tin can alley over there.
my man shed.
Yeah.
I will say though, one of the storage units in the parking lot, the one farthest from the building, we were able to empty out completely. And that is now completely empty of everything. It's all been moved in the building. It was all-
It's not gone though yet?
It's not gone though yet, but it's empty.
Very cool.
progress.
Yep.
Preliminary grand opening plans.
So we've been working with the Friends and to a lesser extent, the building committee, trustees and staff, and you know, we're close to a plan. Once we have a date, I think in the interest of time, I'll take any questions and Mark and the trustees can, but the Friends have a meeting next week for which I'm going to compile a sort of packet of information, which we'll also send to the building, send to you, Ken, as the co-chair, to send out to the building committee members that will basically, there's a letter that's going to some of the key people that we're inviting. Can't send that till we have a date. We have the letter drafted and that's looking good. We have a preliminary program that's going to be handed out. It needs some work, and Mark has a cousin who's a graphic designer, and we'll do some workshops on, will help with that. We're doing a postcard with support from the Friends. The Friends have agreed to mail out a postcard and get it printed, announcing the grand opening. We've kind of go back and forth on, initially we said, oh, we don't want to do a mass mailing before the grand opening because we might get thousands of people. And I think we just roll the dice and see what happens, because we thought of doing an after the grand opening date, the ribbon cutting date, postcard that says, you know, there's activities happening during the week, and bulk mail being what it is, you just don't know when that would arrive in people's mailboxes. So
Christmas.
our thinking is just get it out, bulk mail as soon as we can.
With all of them, right? All
With
of them.
everything, saying the ribbon cutting is on this date, and then the following week, there are activities happening on different dates, and that, there's a draft of that postcard. I can pass this around. I just need this back, because it has some notes on it. The graphic on the front may not be the one that we ultimately used. Again, we're getting some input from the Friends and as well as from Mark's cousin. So there's the postcard, there's the program, there's the letter, and then there's another document that has the details, sort of like an annotated program that says, these are all the things that are happening and who's doing what and who's cutting the ribbon, you know, how that's going to be set up. There's a lot of this is just the mechanics of the grand opening day. There's the wagon, the tractor coming down from 395 Main Street, and we've decided we'll only have people on the wagon instead of some people walking, so that limits it to 25. I've put in the latest draft of the program that members of the building committee are welcome to, you know, be part of that if they want to. We'll have trustees, staff who are interested, members of the building committee, members of the Friends. There'll be a few books ceremonially moved from 395 to 207 by some school children. We're working on that. So there's a lot of logistics. There's the weather issue and tents and other kinds of things. We have a list. So my thinking is take questions here about, well, have you thought about or kind of thing, but we're going to get that same packet out to the building committee so that you have awareness of what the plan is. But right now, as far as the speakers, Mark will be master of ceremonies. I'll make some remarks on behalf of the trustees. Then Ken will make remarks on behalf of the building committee. Then Zach from the Friends will speak on behalf of the Friends, and then Mark will wrap it up with acknowledgements, et cetera. And then we will go to the ribbon cutting and open the doors. We got some photo ops planned with staff and with trustees. We could do a building committee one as well. And the photo op thing, we need to kind of work out the logistics of that. Might be done even earlier in the day. We do need to coordinate among those of us who are making those formal remarks about who's acknowledging who. Like, you know, and Ken, you've already said that you're going to acknowledge the building committee and Senator Pacheco and Representative Haddad. Well, if we have that list, because I'm going to acknowledge Rita and Ann and past trustees, those kinds of things. And we'll have a list to make sure we're sort of covering. Then Mark is going to sort of grab everybody else who hasn't been mentioned and probably mention people who have already been mentioned.
Jocelyn, right?
Jocelyn.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I'll mention Jocelyn too. So she's there.
Yeah, I'm going to mention it too as a former member of the building committee.
So, yeah, we, you know, particularly she's in the audience. I think part of it is who's out there. We are going to have somebody some people are going to be like scouting the audience to see who's there. So we know if somebody showed up that we can make sure. And we're going to have kind of reserved VIP kind of seating so that we'll know that when somebody shows up, they sit there.
Yeah.
So that you'll have visibility from the podium. So there's a lot of those details we're working out, but I'll take any questions at this point.
Yeah, that was actually my question. There is going to be a podium.
Yes. Right. Do we have the?
We have the podium, yeah. It's
We have
not
the
put together, but we have it.
We have the podium.
Yep.
And we got the microphone system. We'll have chairs. You know, a lot of these things are like who's moving the chairs, how many chairs, those kinds of things. We haven't. Well, no, we do have the Lions are helping with the chairs and the Friends are helping, have been in touch with the Lions. So we've got this checklist, which will also be part of this packet so that people see things. And that's when you can say, whoa, wait a minute, nobody thought about this. That's a good thing to know.
Sure, yeah.
I know I owe you from earlier this week, a short list of ADA
Yeah,
things. I'll get that to you in the next day or two.
yeah, sure. Thank you.
In terms of the cost of this, where do we have a rough idea of cost? You talked about tents, you talked about a few other things. And where that's coming from?
I think the tents are coming from the Lions.
Yeah,
So they
we
won't-
don't,
they won't
sure,
be
we don't
charged.
charge
The
them.
Friends have a large tent. We'll put up and
I
then,
think it's just all,
Yeah, we have a couple that are
yeah,
big
yeah,
that we use for the couch.
Yep.
So,
And I've gotten donations for the
That's right,
refreshments.
yep.
And the refreshments, we're not advertising that there'll be refreshments served. It's just that they'll be there on the Friends table and word will spread, hey, they've got cookies or something.
Waters
And then we'll go to the
small
Friends table and
waters
sign
and
up and then we'll
prepackaged
drink.
So
cookies
this is, we're
with all the
driving
ingredients list.
people to the Friends
Yep.
organization because it's, you know, it's such a great opportunity for
And you can.
recruitment
sign
in
up.
addition to the membership. So
Cookie for your signature.
there you go. Yeah, we haven't set up a budget, so it's a good question. We should think about what this is all gonna cost. We've got some printing costs like for the programs that will get done but See, I trust Mark. He always says, no, I got all the contingency funds, so.
Yeah, we haven't touched anything.
Yes, yeah, so I think we've got money. This is not a big, we may have to pay a police detail. Did that come up in your conversation?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But he was excited about the tractor. Oh, he said, I'll come myself if I have to.
Did you want to
Right.
drive it?
No, no, he
No,
didn't
he's
want
not
to drive.
driving
He
it.
didn't want to drive. But he said, I'll come myself that Saturday to make it happen. I said, "Okay, great."
Remember, Tom wanted to know who's driving.
Yes. And then when I said the police, he said, well, they can't drive the track. It's like, I'm not gonna ask them.
And
And then Kenny has given it to you, right? I mean, it's.
Yeah, oh, yeah. No, he's not driving.
the other thing that I didn't mention yet is I did do a walk around the neighborhood about parking. Because there is parking there at 207 and that might be reserved for, some people. Some of us will be parked at 395. Those are the 25 will be on the tractor, on the wagon. Tricentennial Park is a bit of a hike, but for some people who are fit enough to do that, I did it in 5 minutes. So I put 7 to 9 minutes maybe. But then there's the lane field parking, and as I understand, there's 2 parking lots, one on each side.
Yeah.
And those look like they hold a fair amount. The larger one holds a lot, and across the street holds some. So I came up with a number like maybe 70, 75 parking spaces, including Tricentennial Park. That might be enough. I think there may be parking on Water Street. We'd have to get approval, in the shoulder there on Water Street, by the river. That's not private. That may be private
That's
property.
probably too tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that would be good.
So, but walking from the highway department is sketchy because there's no sidewalk.
It's a
I think
yeah.
even walking Pleasant Street is tricky because
Yeah.
there's parts that aren't. I recommend people go the extra distance to go Water Street, which would seem a little bit
Yeah, the
less.
sidewalk isn't in that great shape.
Yeah. So that's when we came up for parking.
Will the parking lot already be paved and lined?
I would think so.
I would think so, but I don't have the answer to that question.
Yeah, don't know.
I'm asking because I'm thinking specifically for handicap parking that day.
Yeah.
And having 1 or 2 spaces for that day at least, if it's not lined. And having people who where we're gonna have so many extra cars and those other areas. I'm wondering if there's a way to set aside, even if it's in the chair with a sign on it that says handicap parking in front of it, to set aside an extra 4 or 5 spaces.
We had talked about that, some extra spaces in the big parking lot.
And then
Yeah.
the separate question from that is when is the planning for paving and lining the parking lot
Well, I don't know that we have any
Officially.
plans for paving it.
or lining it?
Yeah, lining it, taking the weeds out.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen was that preliminary drawing.
Yeah, I don't know if if it could be worked into any plans around, ideally when Main Street gets done, but that's a Tom Ferry and Selectmen and Administrator, I don't want to put you on the spot, but that, if it gets paved, that would be when it would happen and the timing just may not work, but, at some point.
And the signage for handicap parking.
But I think the lines, et cetera, we should talk with Tom about that to make sure that the lines are in and the signage that's an accessibility issue that needs to be addressed before the library opening.
That may be something Jim knows the answer to.
Yeah, Jim might
Not
know.
being here, we don't have that answer, but
All right.
There have been no discussions specifically about paving repaving the parking lot, other than, casual conversation with Tom saying, gee, be nice if we could get the parking lot done when you're doing Main Street, but he said, well, we have to figure out how to pay for that, so.
How bad is the parking lot? I don't remember. Is it?
There's some weeds.
Yeah, I think,
it's weeds, it's grass, it's,
yeah, it's,
It's
does a little
not-
bit of that
it's
stuff.
It's not like we should have the weeds taken out and have the driveway sealed or the parking lot sealed.
And then there's that patch of grass too.
well, I think that's a good question about the parking lot, how we get into the conditions so that it's,
Yep.
we could get it lined.
Excuse me.
Get it lined and get the signage up for accessible parking spaces. That would be, that's important. I assume that's all on the list.
Do you want me to reach out to Tom for this, or do you want me to?
No, I would wait until we
Yeah.
get information from Jim.
Yeah, because I would think that's on Jim's list somewhere somehow, but I
I
wouldn't
mean,
want to.
handicap spots have to be paved, right? If I
Yes.
remember correctly, yeah.
Yes, they
Have to be
paved.
lined and.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
That includes the extension of the 5 feet for wheelchair
Uh-huh.
dismount,
and It should be,
and it has to be striped and so forth as well.
it would have been part of the plan for the ramp.
Yeah.
But we saw a plan, didn't we see a plan for the parking?
That's right.
Yeah.
There were 2 handicap spaces and the big parking lot and one in the employee parking lot.
Jonathan's concern is some extra spaces for opening day.
I'm concerned about both, making sure that it's done on
Sure.
opening day, but
Yeah, well, there are.
also some extra spaces, temporary spaces we could just mark.
There are signs available. Temporary signs that can be used, that have been used in other places. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I know that they exist. And so I'm sure Tom has access to them, but we can get those. I think they're like signs in buckets with cement kind of thing. Yeah, those work. Okay, well, anyway, it's all coming together. Get this more detailed plan. But again, when you get it, if there's anything you think we missed, we can talk about. We're likely to have another meeting of the building committee. When we have a friends, trustees and building committee meeting to focus on the grand opening and make sure we're not missing anything.
One thing I thought of, when we were talking about crossing 138, where it's just going to be the tractor now and people aren't going to be walking, that's going to make it much more safe. And I don't know
Yeah.
how much you need to involve, the state police at that level. Because that is a state
I
road.
saw the police chief
Yeah.
today and he was all for it. So I will make it happen for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And so whatever that means, it seems
Yeah.
that when a date is,
But where you're not
set.
going to be stopping traffic for
Mhm.
people, a procession of
Yeah,
people
yeah,
to
yeah.
cross.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the
Okay.
tractor
Okay.
wagon crossing the road like it would
Yep.
cross any other road in town, basically.
And Mark said that police chief said they would just stop traffic for
Right.
minutes and whatever.
yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
This is an example, I know being recorded, but we're better to ask forgiveness than to ask
Right.
permissions.
The other-
But we are gonna have the police chief or the police officer issue a citation to Kenny and it'll be from the trustees thanking him for his generosity. Something like that.
And then the liability of the people in the wagon too,
They have insurance.
they have insurance. Would the town be, where it's a town event?
I'm going to say probably not on the wagon, but for 395 and the new library, 207. Yes. To get from point A to B? I don't think so.
Okay.
Good, that's all I had. Thank you.
The flyer or the thing you're going to send out to the public announcing the ribbon cutting. We'll also talk about where they can park, different areas that they can.
The postcard won't, but we're gonna have to have that. I did a map, I downloaded Google Map, and I just highlighted parking spaces. We'll do something a little more sophisticated. But that'll be available on the library website and on Facebook. I think that's all we can do. We can't, parking. We refer people, the postcard is referring people to the library Facebook page and the library website for more information, including parking. So they've got to kind of find that. But we'll have it there. It'll be visible. There'll be a parking map that will show Lane Field and Tricentennial Park, et cetera. And we won't show any parking on the street then. It'll just be, people may choose to do that on their own, but we're not going to recommend it. There's public parking spaces and places, and that'll be about it. I think the decision we'll have to make at some point is whether the parking lot at the library will be not open for general public. It might be just for people that we know are coming that.
Dignitaries.
Yeah.
You could talk to Tom about parking on the street. If he wants no parking signs or if he thinks it's needed,
Mhm.
like they do out here for the cow chip.
Yeah.
and all that. That's the parking.
I know they've used some of the, for cow chip and stuff, like some of the kids from the police program that they do in the summer and stuff, or the teenagers from the scouts, they've used them with their phones to coordinate with each other to say, this area is full, go to the next area,
Yeah.
or to direct somebody park over there,
Mhm.
like that. And I wonder if we could reach out to scouts or something like that and see if they have a few teenagers who would want to volunteer to be helpful that day.
Yeah. We've
As opposed to
talked
just
about
telling
the-
people, go somewhere, because some people won't know where to go.
Yeah.
Or how many cars can be filled. It'd be great if somebody could say to the next person, yeah, this one's full now.
Yeah, I think we need somebody to coordinate to help with parking making sure people park in spaces and not take up, it's gonna be tight, but I think it's the who can do that, and scouts are probably as good as any and might make a nice project, and so, thank you.
Any other questions about the grand opening? If not, we'll review, discuss, and act on some invoices. We have 2 invoices from Eagle Leasing Company totaling $373. We have 1 invoice from JJ Flooring Covering Outlet totaling $47,190. 1 invoice from Plan B Construction totaling $21,888. And there may be some other invoices.
There are not.
There are not. Do we have a total?
We do. Total is $69,451.
Very good. Are there any questions about those invoices? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve those, to pay those invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a second? Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, passes unanimously. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at the minutes on July 17th? Any concerns or questions about the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of July 17th, 2025.
So
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. We had already talked about our next meeting being.
Sorry, I need
Trustees need to vote on it.
trustees need to vote on the minutes.
Sorry about that.
I'll entertain a motion from the trustees to approve the minutes of July 17, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
So everybody's had an opportunity. Okay, next meeting, we're supposed to be, yeah. We had picked September 4th. Do we want to stay with that date for our next meeting? Do we need to meet sooner, you think, or?
I don't think so.
September 4th, is that Thursday after?
I believe it's a Thursday.
Because Labor Day is Monday.
Mhm.
So we'll stay with that meeting, September 4th.
All goes well, we
But
should be-
aren't Mark and
Waist
Kurt putting
deep.
books on
I'm just-
shelves?
I will
If all goes well, we should be.
Well, we won't be here because we'll be schlepping.
We may call him.
I will,
You can zoom in.
I will be the bump in the road and say that I am concerned, going back to our earlier discussion about the things that have to be done to be compliant. And if we need to wait until September 4th to find out that they're not, I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but I would hate to have Mark be given a tentative opening date ahead of time, but yet not have things in place. I don't know if we need to go a week earlier or not. Just a thought.
Yeah, no, I share your concerns, Jonathan, also. I think we ought to keep it September 4th, but if there is an issue prior to September 4th, Mark, if you feel it's necessary for us to have a meeting, we should have a meeting.
Okay.
I agree with Jonathan, we shouldn't wait till September 4th. If, for example, we don't have a date for the doors to be fixed, or the lighting, or other issues that we have that may impact the opening.
Mhm.
So I think we ought to leave it at September 4th, but I trust you, Mark, that if there's an issue, the issues that Jonathan actually brought up, that we have a meeting, that you
Right.
call a meeting earlier.
The call an emergency.
Right, now, well, Ralph, can I ask you, in the note that Jim supplied to you, did he say glazing is expected to be done by September 1st?
I thought he said 3 weeks.
And what
The
did-
third week of,
I think the third week of
Yeah, third week in August.
Third week in August, okay.
After,
so
So if it's supposed to be, so as of right now, according to that report,
Yeah.
should occur by the third
I'm
week
under
of
the
August.
assumption that that should be done by,
But
September.
that's
Right, yeah.
glazing, that's not the other.
But that's part of it.
that's
I
right,
know, I
that's
just wanna-
Somerset Glass, yeah.
To be clear.
I understand that, I understand that.
I would suggest, not to put more work, but it could be really easy, but at this point, having done moves of this, this type and scale, larger scale, is weekly updates aren't a bad thing, even if there's nothing to share, but I think you can send stuff out, we can't deliberate on it, but I would wouldn't mind getting something each week. We've got some key, issues, and it'd just be good to know, just to have that go out. And that could even be updates related to the grand opening celebration stuff. But it's like a quick 5-minute email just saying, this is where we are.
To the
with this.
group.
To the entire group, and that would,
As long as no one responds.
as long as nobody can
Yes.
respond, you can do it as a.
You can,
see.
yeah, you can respond to Mark, but not
Right.
reply all
Yeah.
to everybody.
So if you send it out as a BCC, then people can only respond to you. But I think at this point, weekly updates, status updates, progress updates, I think would be
Yeah,
good.
Jim may have to get involved in that too.
Yeah, so if you just,
You want to talk shelving, I can update you on that, but
you're probably. meeting-
glazing's got to come from Jim.
You're probably meeting with Jim weekly anyway over the next few weeks, once he comes back. So I would appreciate that, just getting even if there's nothing much to share, but just a week, update number 1. I just number them. That's the way I've done it in the past, and then everybody knows what's going on. And they can ask you if they have questions.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. You're okay with that, Mark?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody have any other questions or concerns that they have before I ask for a motion to adjourn?
Second,
Oh,
You have to have. the
Motion to
first.
adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The meeting is
A
adjourned.
motion to adjourn the trustees.
So moved.
Second.
Vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Meeting adjourned.
With the recording on.
I counted the 3 people, they can't